Welcome to another episode of
Winner Circle TV.
I'm Yanni.
My name is Kevin.
And we are
Winner Circle.
Bring the beat back. Dun, 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 dun. Ding, 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 ding. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of
Winner Circle TV.
So today we're going to talk about the ins and outs of performing an interview.
Yes.
So in the next few episodes, we're actually going to be conducting interviews on different people around the state, around the city that are successful in the field. We're just going to try to pick their brain to figure out what they're doing right so that we can follow suit and we can pass that knowledge along to you guys.
Exactly.
But we just want to talk about the process of an interview, how it works, and the right way it should go.
On both perspectives, as far as the interviewee and the interviewer. We're first going to talk about the interviewer, the person that's actually going to be conducting the interview, the host. Us. So pretty much, if you're doing this platform as far as starting on YouTube or actually just doing a podcast in general, what you want to do is actually create a list first. You know, get all your ducks in a row as far as your equipment, what you're going to need, the itinerary as far as the schedule, when you want to do, in case you want to do like us and we do multiple in one day, you want to know who's coming in at what time, and you want them to be notified promptly of when they should arrive.
Yes, logistics are important.
Exactly.
It's the ins and outs, the things you forget that are the most important.
Exactly.
Scheduling is important. You got to make sure the people are available when you want to do the interview.
Right.
So like you said, getting everything together, making sure they're available when you're available, making sure you have all the equipment that you'll need. Another thing that you want to have ready for them are the questions.
Right. You want to send them what we call a prep pack. Pretty much it's just simple as far as like I said, just a copy of the itinerary, what you're going to talk about, the time frames, and when each question will probably be answered if you want to structure it like that. But mainly it's to give the interviewee an idea of what that session is going to be like. You never want to be blindsided, just like job interviews. You never know who's going to be there or what they're going to talk about, and you get kind of nervous. So you want to make sure they're more comfortable than what you want them to be comfortable in general, pretty much. So that way it makes a smoother transition as far as your video or your recording, in reference to the interviewee being more comfortable just to speak to you.
Also, there's something that they might not want to talk about.
Right.
So you send them the questions, and if there's something that they don't want to talk about or they feel like it's unnecessary to the interview, they can send it back and say, hey, I don't really want to do this. Can we just cut this part out? So we'll know what to actually ask them and what, shouldn't be asked.
Right.
There's also, you want to make sure that they know what we're going to ask them so that they know how to answer as well.
Exactly.
Because you don't want anybody to be like, or dead air.
Even though you really can't help that's going to happen. So you're not going to really stop that. But just like I said, to make them more comfortable as far as with the interview process, it'd be better to send them questions ahead of time, even though when you're actually doing the interview, you may remix or try to add on or try to freestyle some more questions or follow-up questions associated with it. So it's going to be a little bit of, I would say some time there where you can't actually anticipate every single question to answer on both sides.
Yeah,
so,
but they'll at least have a ballpark. They'll know exactly, what's going on, so they won't be caught off guard by any of those questions. Right. And all the side questions will, tie into the main questions.
Exactly.
So, just something like that to help out.
And another thing is, like we said earlier, is timing. You want to make sure that you have a set time for your interviews, and make sure that your questions are enough questions to fill that time and enough questions to not go over. That's the main thing, because you want to make sure that, because with interviews, because you got to be mindful of their time as well as your time, especially in our case, because we're going to be doing multiple, so we want them to be in and out at a certain time frame. So you want to make sure timing is tracked and monitored as best as possible.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I would say, as far as location wise, if you're trying to do something out in the field, as we call it, you want to make sure communication is both parties well done, as far as you informing of the interviewee, the location, timing, and the actual address, and make sure that is communicated successfully to the person, because you don't want them to be late, especially if you're having somebody flying in town and they don't know your area or something like that. So just make sure that communication is well done between both parties.
Yeah, man, and accommodations as well. So, like you said, if somebody's coming in from out of town, you want to make sure they have transportation to and from, some place to stay, all of that kind of stuff.
Right.
You don't want to leave them high and dry when they're in your city. So, it's important to make sure that they have the proper accommodations as well.
Right. And on the last part, I would say just make sure all your equipment works. I mean, to keep it simple as that. Make sure you test your equipment the night before. Make sure everything's working fine, because you never know what may happen. That's what everybody that does any kind of content creation say, is that they always check their equipment, always check everything, their whole bag and everything before they actually shoot. So that's the most important part. Make sure everything works. Now we're gonna flip the script. Text messages and stuff all day, so but we're gonna flip the script, and we're gonna go on the other perspective, the other side of the interview table, and we're gonna talk about the interviewee, some tips that you will have to take on or understand in reference to when you are requested to do an interview. The first thing, just like on the interviewer side, is timing. You want to make sure that you arrive wherever your destination is. I would say probably about 30 minutes earlier, just so that you can get adjusted, you can be comfortable in the environment, and that way, if anything happens, if they got to reschedule anything or they got to push you up, you're already there and ready to go. So just make sure that you arrive a little bit earlier. Not like the doctor's office when they tell you to come in 15 to 30 minutes earlier, but yet you come in right at 5 minutes, before you got to actually check in. So let's just, I'll say this, come in a little bit earlier in reference to that. And also, with timing, also be mindful of your answers as well, because you don't want to be too drawn out like I'm doing now, and actually, you ain't got to make that face, and actually take up too much time that you need to.
Which leads me to my point. I was going to say, make sure you practice your answers. When we give you that prep pack, make sure you practice your answers,
right,
so you can know how long it's going to be, how descriptive you want to be,
exactly,
and leave time for the next questions. That being said, like, the interview is kind of in your hands as an interviewee, because you can answer your question as long or as short as you want.
That's true.
So just make sure that you control the pace the right way, so that you can respect the interviewer's time and make sure that all the questions can get answered the way we both want it to.
And as far as the next part of it, I would say, as far as the interviewee section, is appearance. Now, if you are being brought onto a show or a platform where there's video content, you want to make sure that you are dressed and well-groomed, because you are going to be presented, and in our platform, this is a representation of individuals in their own business. So, of course, it's going to be kind of not really like a business attire. It's more casual as far as our platform, but still rules apply as far as grooming. So everybody has a job. You know what those criteria are. So
yeah, and like, even though you're on our platform, you still represent your brand.
Exactly.
So you got to make sure that you represent yourself well,
right,
so that you represent your brand well.
Because you never know who's actually going to be looking. See, we starting, but as far as I know, most YouTubers, their past videos are the ones that actually get the most viral attention.
Yeah, man. So like, one to pop off, and then everybody go back and watch the others too.
You never know. This video or one of our videos that you just started on or disappeared on might be the one that actually launched or progress your business to new levels. So you never know. So I would say just make sure that your stuff is presentable and that you're comfortable. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to be too uptight. That's going to reflect as far as in the video, and that's going to reflect as far as your audio as well, as far as you'll be able to hear the stressiness in your voice. So you want to be more comfortable, and that's what our platform is, based on. You see, we relaxed.
Chilling.
We chilling. So, but yeah,
there you have it.
There you have it. We want to bring a little test because we're about to start these interviews, so we want to give this pretty much like a PSA almost to our people that we're going to actually bring on to the show. So, but yeah, I would say stay winning, stay striving for greatness, and
dare to succeed.
Dare to succeed. We'll see you at the winner circle.
Peace.
Deuces.